How are we all doing? Hope you're all keeping well out there as usual. So, a lot of heavy rain here lately. It's been a bit mucky here for the last couple of days with the rain. Today especially, it was raining more or less non-stop all day. But other than that, we can't complain. So, I haven't had a whole lot of time out here since the last video on the TR80, the little pilot radio where I changed the transistors. Though I'm happy to report that that radio is working very well. I have it in the bedroom and I'm using it regularly, and it's performing excellently. It's very sensitive. Been listening to mainly Manx radio on it, and very happy with the way that one turned out. So yeah, what to do today? I thought we'd have a look at a few different things and talk and discuss. First of all, a question for my good viewers out there, all of you. I was recently given these, and I'm wondering if you know who made them. Yeah, good look at these. Two speakers, driver and a tweeter in the wrong setup. As you can see, so tweeter's in the middle, mounted on a little frame. Big driver, probably I would say maybe 8 inches by 12. Yeah, I think so. We'll get the ruler to measure. And it's the frame is painted in green hammerite. So if you know who made them, I'd be interested to know. I've powered them up with a stereo I was troubleshooting on, and they sound good. So I'd imagine if they were in an enclosure, they'd sound very nice indeed. The driver, or the crossover, there's an electrolytic inside, and it's dated the other one I can see the date on. August 1973, August 73. So that puts a rough date on the speakers. But they're a nice job. I think that they could even nearly be worth actually making up a cabinet for, or cabinets for. So yeah, it'd be interesting to know if anyone recognises them and can put a particular brand name on them. Interested to know. So what else? I also dug out through stuff as I've explained before in previous videos, of a lot of stuff that was left over from John's shop, which I'm slowly working through. Probably halfway through it all at this stage. And as I've said before, a lot of it could go on the skip, but it's going through it to find the stuff that we might need going into the future. One of the things I came across, and I have the back off it and a quick look, I'm sure some of you might recognise it. It's a Maplin frequency counter. I'm not sure which model it is. It could be an MF100, but I'm not 100% sure. Looks like a nice enough job, and I think it goes up to 520 megahertz or something like that. It does go up into the UHF band anyway. And I'll plug it in and you can have a look at it. DC connector on it. It's not coming on. Why is it not coming on? Alright, I'll tell you what, I'll bring the camera in, pause it for a second, get it going, and we can have a look at that. Okay, so I have it hooked up to my FM pantry transmitter. I'll just turn it on here and set this for UHF, and there we can see 92.52. Now what I don't like about it is there's no diffuser on it, but I have the front off this come off a VHS player that was being scrapped. I don't know what that says. 1-2 recording, child lock, something or other. I was thinking we could fit that in there some way. That makes it a lot easier to read. So does anyone remember making this kit from Maplin? I'm sure loads of them were sold. So I think I'll try and fit that in at the back there between the front cover and the LEDs. So that's kind of cool. So that's a frequency counter. Now I've loads of frequency counters. Well, when I say I've loads of 3, I think the best one I probably have though is this one up here. The HP 5315A. That's a good counter. But you can probably, much like multimeters or screwdrivers or oscilloscopes, you can never have too many. So that's that. Right. I'll dig up something else to show you now. Okay, here's another interesting thing I dug up recently, and I intend on using the box for something, because I've no interest in listening to DAB radio. It's a DAB Pure Evoke 1S digital radio, and of course this was the way of the future. Well, as my viewers from Ireland might be aware, we only have RTE on DAB here at the minute, and they have announced that they're going to close down DAB in a cost-saving exercise. Now, when this is going to happen, I don't know, but it would appear that DAB is a dead end, and it's going to be going in the bin soon enough. Needless to say, I got this I got out of the Wii Skip in work, and I got it because I thought, well, there's a nice little handle on it. It's a nice little wooden box, and I can probably put something more useful in it. But there was no power supply with it. And then I thought, oh, you can put batteries in it. But you can't. What they want you to do is they want you to buy a fancy rechargeable battery. And they're very concerned with the environment, this crowd. For optimal economy and convenience and minimal environment impact, we can recommend a charge pack. Blah, 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 blah. Right? But these things are terribly heavy on current, compared to, say, you know, a proper transistor radio, much like the TR80 that I did up last week, which will last probably a year on a set of PP9s. Whereas I did have a DAB radio that took D cells at one time, and it used to last about 8 hours on 4 alkaline D cells, which is pretty poor. Anyway, so it's a technology I won't be sorry to see the back of. I know some people like that, but the receipt was in the back of this one, and it was a €119, and it was new, and now it has been cast to the Wii Skip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause here once more, and I'm going to take the back off, and we'll have a look inside and see if we can power it up on the bench power supply, and we might even receive something, though probably not. Okay, after much faffing about, I got the screws out. You can see there's not a whole lot in here that will be considered serviceman friendly. There's not a whole lot you can do in there, and it goes wrong, it goes in the bin, which is great for the environment. And we can see it was made in week 26 of 2007. Nice speaker. Yeah, so I'll get the power supply on it. Let's see will it come on. Better leads. Okay, so I had the power supply hooked up to her here, so we'll see what it has to say for itself. Oop. I got these digital things, don't do anything in a hurry. It's snazzy looking. Let's Because we have the aerial disconnected, so stick a bit of wire in it. May decide that it wants to work. I wonder, is there an audio fault on it? Because I'm hearing absolutely nothing out of the speaker at all. Oh, I can hear a slight electronic-y buzzing noise. Just doesn't work anymore. Oh well, that's a bit sad. I wonder what sort of current it's drawn. It's on voltage here over the current. Yeah, it's not too bad. About 150 milliamps. It wouldn't be great on batteries. And of course there's no audio output. So I'd be interested to see what it is. You know, at normal volume. Alright, well, we'll stop wasting time at that. I would appear that I was doing something wrong. Usually I'm not very good with this. It is working. You have to press the button.
In the dream, by the beggar with the card machine. The passing by a shooting star won't cost enough. Stand by.
I'll turn that down before I get locked up by YouTube. Let's see if there's a news station. Phantom 105.2. Any of my Irish listeners will know it's a long time since Phantom was on the air.
Absolutely adore podcasts. I listen to them all the time. I listen to the New York Daily almost on a daily basis, as you were saying, NPR. But the one that I really have liked this year is one called Talking Politics, which was presented by David Runciman, and his most regular guest is Helen Thompson, who's Professor of Politics in Oxford. And they started off the year talking about Brexit, and they've spoken about Brexit a lot.
Can you imagine running that on batteries?
They've also spoken about COVID, and it's about British politics.
Yeah.
It's also about political theory.
Effect that. Alright. Okay, the last thing I'll show you is tonight, just for a bit of fun. I'm not going to try and get it going, but I think you remember this. It is a Dockable. This one's made by Alba. I have another one that's similar to this somewhere else. But basically, it's a Walkman and a radio in one. Now this is only a radio, it hasn't got a cassette player. I have another one that's a cassette player as well. So, basically, if I can remember how to do it. This comes out and you can use this as a portable earphone radio, or you can dock it and then you have the stereo speakers, which is kind of snazzy for something that says Alba on it. I'll give you a quick look at that. I have another one that's basically like a Walkman with a cassette deck, which docks into the radio. So, you know, before the iPod with the docking station, this is what they had back in the 80s, which is kind of snazzy. We'll try and get that going some other day. I'd imagine there's a rechargeable battery in this, perhaps. Don't see where you'd put a battery into it. Recommended batteries HP 16, but yeah, don't know. I'd say there's, that looks like it. I don't know. We'll get a closer look at that some other day. Anyway, there you are. Docking radio from the 80s. Yeah, I think that's enough nonsense for today. As always, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you again in the next one. Take care for now. Bye bye.